What's up, Taiwan? Good evening. I'm Erika Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan has recorded its second case of community spread of B.8.5. That's the highly transmissible new strain of the Omicron variant of COVID-19. The country's pandemic task force confirmed the case on Monday. They say the source of the infection is unknown and 12 of the patient's close contacts have also tested positive for COVID. The man has had 3 vaccinations against the disease and had already caught COVID once before in May. Taiwan's largest annual military drills, the Hanguang exercises, kicked off on Monday. The Air Force carried out exercises preparing for scenarios involving an attack from China. And in Taiwan's western Miaoli County, reservists have been preparing for a full-out invasion in their revamped training program. Rick Laut reports.
Preparing for a Chinese invasion. These Taiwan reservists ready defences that could slow down an enemy force landing on nearby beaches. For software engineer Jian Zhehui, taking part in his country's largest military drill is not just a duty, but an honour.
很高兴能够在这一次参加自强38号的演习。在这里教召的时候，在这些相关的训练上，看着教召的干部们一点一点的依据自己的专长及 SOP 准则去对我们实施教导，相信在国际的战役上还是非常坚强的。
Jian Zhehui is one of hundreds of reservists involved in Taiwan's 5-day Hanguang exercises, which simulate the response to a potential full-scale invasion by China. China claims Taiwan as its own and threatens to take it by force. It's the first time reservists are participating in the drills since their service was reformed to meet the growing threat. Reservists like these are now going to train for longer and focus more on combat skills, such as shooting. Their training was revamped earlier this year in a bid to boost the country's war readiness as tensions rise across the strait. In recent months, China has increasingly sent fighter jets into Taiwan's air identification zone. That and Russia's invasion of Ukraine are prompting officials here to rethink Taiwan's defense strategy.
So you can see, these situations in the Taiwan Strait is becoming much more tension over the past years. So the United States and not only the United States, but also Taiwan per se has kind of the voice to argue that the island had to reconsider its military strategy and its military policy. So expanding military service, that's one issue. And increasing military expenditure is another one.
Across the country, Taiwan is mobilizing its army, air force and navy in a show of war readiness as it looks to modernize its forces, spending nearly $17 billion on defense this year. But it is civilians like these that are also being called to play a greater role in the defense of their country. Patrick Chen and Rick Laut in Miaoli County for TaiwanPlus.
Civilians, too, were put through their paces. Taiwan conducted the first of 4 Wan-An drills in the capital city of Taipei. The exercises instruct the public on what to do in case of an enemy attack. Bing Wang has the details.
The first of 4-day civilian drills just kicked off across Taiwan and the capital Taipei. These drills, the Wan-An drills, are aimed at protecting citizens in the event of an enemy invasion. Air sirens blared for 30 minutes, meaning civilians had to seek shelter and cars had to pull off roads. While trains continued to run, people could not leave the station. The same exercise will be conducted across the country over the next few days. Those who violate the protocols will face a fine of up to $1,000 to $5,000. Last year, the restrictions weren't as strict because of COVID-19. That's because the government didn't want people to congregate in one area and risk exposure. But this year, the restrictions are back in place and it's back to normal. Ricky, Pichi Zhuang, Bing Wang, in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's Fisheries Agency is hiring more staff to beef up labor inspections on Taiwanese-owned distant water fishing vessels. Taiwan has one of the world's largest distant water fishing fleets, boats that can spend months at a time out at sea. The country's fisheries agency has come under fire for human rights violations against migrant workers on Taiwanese-owned boats. These violations include low wages, poor working and living conditions, and physical abuse. The agency plans to add a total of 79 new inspectors. However, an official with a local migrant fisher union has raised concerns of conflicts of interest. That's because many of the new hires come from organizations with ties to owners of fishing vessels. Millions of dollars were spent on years of renovations, but just 2 days after it opened, the Hsinchu City Baseball Stadium has been shut down again. A number of baseball players were injured in the inaugural games due to uneven grounds. But as Yu Jinhuang reports, the issues went well beyond the playing field.
It was supposed to be the game highlighting the newly renovated Hsinchu Baseball Stadium. Instead,
没有缓冲的感觉，因为它上面是松松的，但是下去你扑下去的时候又是很硬。
the original Hsinchu Baseball Stadium was torn down 6 years ago and was rebuilt at a cost of $4 million. On its opening weekend, 4 players were injured on the field. Complaints also poured in from the fans. Spectators had to contend with rusty stairs, anti-slip and reflective strips on the wrong side of the steps, and the locks for women's restrooms were on the outside and not the inside of the cubicles.
所有的责难到我身上，在我的协调之下，大家已经有初步的共识，把球场的环境，再做细节的改善。
But in November, the former mayor Lin Zhijian, who was in charge of the project, will be running for a mayoral post in another city, leading to questions about whether he will face the consequences.
市长、副市长也已经辞职，正在参选。那这2位要如何来扛责任？这我是觉得蛮不可思议的。
There are questions about the construction company's track record. It's now come to light that there have been issues with their previous projects. The local government and Chinese Professional Baseball League have already decided to close the stadium temporarily and move the games elsewhere. But the public scrutiny is now just beginning. Piper Yo and Yu Jinhuang for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's top men's and women's badminton seeds both won their 4th titles at the Taipei Open this weekend. More than 90 players from 26 countries took part this year. As Louise Watt reports, the tournament took place after a 2-year hiatus due to the pandemic.
Taiwan's top-seeded badminton players both claimed victory on Sunday. First, Dai Ziying beat Japan's Saina Kawakami. It took her only 37 minutes, her longest game of the tournament. Dai's win is her 4th singles title at the Taipei Open.
And the champions of women's single final is Dai Ziying from Chinese Taipei.
那我在打的时候会希望自己就是一样是失误不要这么多，然后他今天一开始下场的时候速度也是非常的快，所以我在打的时候也会有造成蛮大的压力。
Zhou Tiancheng also did Taiwan proud in the men's singles, beating Kodai Naroka of Japan in 1 hour, 1 minute. He became the first male player to win 4 titles at the event.
我们也是不断的在试探对方，然后做出战术跟技术的改变，然后最后我觉得他停得有点下滑，那我就趁这个机会把比数给拉开。
It wasn't quite as smooth for Taiwan in the men's doubles. Li Yang and Wang Qilin, who won gold at the Tokyo Olympics, lost out in the finals to their Malaysian opponents.
And they do it.
关键的时候，可能我自己太着急了，就是觉得机会球来了，太想要去得分，所以变成一些手上的失误又跑出来。
It was still the pair's best showing at the Taipei Open, adding to a tournament that Taiwanese can be proud of. Damon Lin, Ken Ning, and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of the Jax Art Festival. The event showcases interactive art installations from Saudi and international artists. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.